There you go. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to you all to the graduation the ceremony this morning. The ceremony will begin shortly with a procession into the church, but can you just bear with me while I make a few of the necessary announcements? The first is to ask mobile phones. Ideally, could we please put them on either off or flight mode? We're streaming the ceremony around the university and on the net. We have a fairly weak internet connection here, so if you can live with that, please do. Other than that, absolute minimum is silent, please. Please be aware that photography will be taken throughout graduation, and if anybody would prefer their images not to be used in any of the publicity by the university, please let us know and we'll make sure that doesn't happen. In the extremely unlikely event we need to get out in a hurry, we ask you to remain calm and just wait for instructions. We have marshals all around the church and they will assist you. The emergency points are at the back of the vestry for the people on the stage. The blocks on this side of the church will use the tower door, and the people on that side of the church will use the main door that most of you came in through. But please just wait to be instructed, and we'll get you all out as quickly as possible. There is a map in the back of your programme that actually shows you the exit route, so please familiarise yourself with that. When the ceremony finishes, the Vice-Chancellor's procession will leave the stage, followed by our graduates at that stage, and then our VIPs will leave. Could I ask all of the guests to please remain seated until they've certainly on their way? This is just to facilitate getting out of the church. The smoother we can make it, the quicker you can all get down to the refreshments, which is what we're all aiming for at the end of the day. Finally, to the graduates, a couple of things, or three things. Firstly, maybe the first to offer my congratulations to you all for your achievements. When you come up here, I'll greet you by the Vice-Chancellor. Could you make sure you look across towards the camera? There will be a photographer there who's taking the official photograph, so please smile as best you can. And also, when you leave the stage, can you make sure you go back up through the centre of the church and not back the way you came. Two reasons. One, to keep it flowing, but two, your certificate is at the back, and if you don't go and get it, well, there you go. I think that's all for now. Thank you for your attention. We sincerely hope you enjoy the ceremony today. And could I now please ask you all to stand while the procession enters the church. Thank you.
I welcome you on behalf of the university to this convocation for the conferment of degrees. Chair of the Council, Rory Tapner, Mayor and Mayoress, Lords, ladies, gentlemen, honoured guests, former chairs of council, graduates, friends and family, as Vice-Chancellor, I would like to welcome you very, very warmly on behalf of the University to this very special occasion. This is, without any shadow of doubt, for the graduates and for their family and friends, and I would say for my colleagues, the staff at the university, one of the most special, sacred days of your life. The ceremony of graduation goes back 1,000 years. The first university in Europe, arguably in the world, was Bologna in Italy, northern Italy, in 1088. And out of that emerged the idea of a ceremony to reward and mark and honour those who had undertaken successfully the period of study and passed the qualifications for which they were sitting and studying. And the word graduation comes from the word step. And there are two steps, and we're honouring both of them today. Step one, which is the great majority, is the step from being a student to a graduate. And the second step is from being a graduate to receiving a master's degree. And the whole ceremony is versed deeply in medieval tradition, and indeed in the tradition of the church. And it's appropriate that we are in a religious building today because there is much in common with marriage and other ceremonies that the world over and in all faiths take place in religious buildings. There'll be bells at the end of this ceremony. The robes that we're wearing, that you're wearing, all come from the medieval church and are modelled on the robes that the medieval clergy wore. So the very ceremony is deeply invested in history and in formality, and today is such a special day for all of you. It is a day that you will, and your families, just like I as a father who've had 3 children who've graduated, remember with the deepest affection. And we have our pictures of our children, as you will have, your families will have pictures of you, and you will have your own pictures of you from this most special of day to remember all your lives. And we are proud of you. We are very, very proud of you. And let's begin with a round of applause, not for you to applaud yourselves, but for everybody else to applaud you. At this university, special for us and special for you is that you are the 40th graduating ceremony. It is, we have 2 former chairs of council here. We've had Lady Thatcher, who was one of our probably best known Chancellor, who was here for many of those ceremonies over the previous 40 years. So the university was started 42, 43 years ago, but it was 40 years since we had the first graduation. So that adds an extra special ingredient to today. And we would like all of us to congratulate you on your choice of this university, the University of Buckingham. We think this is a remarkably special university, that you have done very well to have chosen this university above all others. It is a remarkable place, as you will know, and we want you, and we think you will be proud for the rest of your life to have been here at the University of Buckingham. We want to congratulate you on your friendships. Friendships that will last for the rest of your life. You're sitting, just look around, to left, to right, in front, behind. Friendships that will last forever. Your teachers here, your staff, similarly have lifelong friends because of those who they met. Next Saturday, I'm having lunch with those who I was at university with. Just think, in 40, 50 years' time, you'll still be friends with each other and with us. We'd like to congratulate you on this transition, this mystical change that happens, not totally dissimilar to the marriage service, where you join, you come into the religious building single and you leave married, paired. And you came in here as a student and you will leave as a graduate, that transition from graduand to graduate. There are 81 separate countries represented here, which is a wonderful achievement, and it is your achievement. So welcome also today. We have some very special people with us to celebrate your success today, including the Honorary Graduate Lord Smith of Clifton, Robert Tompkinson, Chloe Woodhead, and His Excellency Leopold Mills II are amongst those many very distinguished people here. Now, we want you graduands to go out and tell the world. When they do ask you, well, what does make you special, it's not just that you are clearly very talented, very intelligent. It's not just that you radiate a special quality, that you have the ability to think. It's that you have the resilience, you have that badge of honour of being a graduate of the University of Buckingham. And the 2-year degree is really core to that. And it's interesting, isn't it? Isn't it interesting that the government is now increasingly wanting all universities to emulate what we have done here, what we've pioneered for 42 years, the 2-year degree. They want to see that rolled out across the country. Small group teaching, the thinking of the positive university where you strive to see the best in other people, the best in situations rather than the worst. You are, all of you, living examples about what is good and best in this university and best in the world. It's been a really special year, this last year, for our university. Let me just share with all of you some of our keynote achievements. The Vinson Building, which you have seen go up and been built for the Centre for Economics and Entrepreneurship, opened by Lord Vinson and Frank Field, the Labour MP, and with help from Buckinghamshire and Thames Valley LEP. We've also had a lot of alumni giving. Suzanne Clatton, who's helped us to set up the Buckinghamshire Enterprise and Innovation Centre. Our university has brought together 10 universities across that strip of Britain to the north of London, joining up Oxford to Cambridge with a combined turnover of £5 billion, over £5 billion. We have pioneered the joining up of the 10 universities in that new arc, which will be a very dominant factor of life in Britain over the next generation. The Speaker of the House of Commons, the Right Honourable John Bercow, was one of some 70 very distinguished national and international figures who come to speak to the students this last year. In Parliament also, indeed in the Speaker's Palace, we launched the Centre for the Ethics of AI in Education. That's one of several areas where your university is leading the country. Another area is the setting up of the Centre for UN Studies. After we Britain leaves the EU, if indeed we ever do leave the EU, the UN is going to become enormously important for us. And this will be Britain's first, at a university, centre for the study of the United Nations. We host the Festival for Higher Education, and last year we had the university's minister as guest of honour, and we have him back again in June to speak. And we have now our fourth national festival here, a history festival, joining the Literary Festival and the Enterprise Festival and the HE Festival. We host so many national conferences. Just yesterday, a conference in London. You may well have seen it or heard it on the BBC today and read it in your newspapers about the conference in London that had the Education Secretary, Damien Hine, speaking at it. There's been a lot of coverage in the press today about that and about the fact that we're Britain's first positive university. No wonder then that applications to join the University of Buckingham are up 25% at a time when many, many universities, as you know, are experiencing a downturn in demand, and our numbers at the university are up 50% over the last 3 years, at a time again when the university sector is shrinking. And we've also heard very exciting news that we are going to be the beneficiaries of a gift that will allow us to establish the AI Centre here, and again that's going to be a world leader. So those are just some of the dominant factors that I know makes you very proud, and we absolutely want you to keep interested through the rest of your lives in what's happening at this very, very special and unusual university. Now that is a message to say that Brexit is happening. It's direct, and we're the first to hear here, which is marvellous news. So now I'm going to tell you something about the School of Business, and I'm going to read out. It is quite a long list about what's happened in this previous year. Please bear with me, and it's quite a long list I'm going to be reading out because a lot of achievement has been happening within the business school. Well, one of those is at the top we saw a change of leadership. Jane Tapsell just here has changed from being the Dean of Business to a Vice Chancellor in charge of academic matters, students and staff. And Deborah Barden-Correa has, as we all know, taken over, and we thank Jane very much for everything that she achieved, and we congratulate Deborah and the team on everything that they've achieved. I think a round of applause there for them. Delivering excellence in teaching and research in the areas of accounting and finance, business management and marketing, entrepreneurship and lean enterprise has been one of the great highlights. Accounting and finance and business management and marketing were ranked, this is really, really good, 5th and 6th amongst 130 universities in Britain. They were ranked 5th and 6th, respectively, in the Guardian 2019 University Guide. And I just think that's a very appropriate moment. It's a wonderful thing to have such talented, gifted, hard-working colleagues, and I think this would be a very good moment to congratulate all of them in the business school. Thank you. Research continues to grow, and the team are focused on interdisciplinary research and research in lean enterprise and entrepreneurship. In 2018, it organised the Women in Data Science Conference in association with WIDS, Stanford, at Stanford University in the USA. In 2018, the business school produced numerous high-impact factor journal publications and one edited book, as well as 2 PhDs. So well done, all of you. On new programs, the MSc in Strategic Marketing and Customer Experience Management has started, focusing on making customers the central focus for every firm. We've also seen the launch of our online MBA programme in partnership with Oxademy Business School, bringing their innovative AI programmes and platforms into an educational setting. Turning to entrepreneurship, the Enterprise Department and BBE students moved into the Buckingham Enterprise Hub in the £8 million, it says, Vincent Building in December, so 3 months ago. And this is a chance just to thank again the donors, Suzanne Clatton and BTV LEP. So the Buckinghamshire Thames Valley Growth Hub officially opened last night in the Buckingham Enterprise Centre. Congratulations to them, a very wonderful event. The students spoke extraordinarily well and powerfully, and that sense of being able to present well in public and to talk with real enthusiasm and interest about what you've been doing is exactly one of the hallmarks of the success of our whole business school. We had the Enterprise Festival in liaison with the Peter Jones Foundation of Television fame. He was here, held in June. We're holding another one this June, and that brings together enterprise education from around the country. Moving on to Lean Enterprise, this is a fast-growing department, exciting programs focusing on studying whilst at work, working with a whole range of external organisations. The MSc Lean Enterprise programme, this has seen an innovative delivery of the programme this year, wherein modules are delivered on-site in businesses, and that enables not only those studying on this programme to understand the application of knowledge and practice, but also allows organisations themselves to benefit from the process, design and systems improvements from our magnificent students. Then there's been the BSc Operational Excellence online programme. That's entered its second year, and it's innovative by being the first of its kind for us. Exciting plans ahead, just to mention those briefly, with a focus on AI and the advent of the fourth industrial revolution. The school's going to be focusing on the skills and areas that robots do less well, the soft skills so appallingly neglected in our national school system and indeed in schools around the world. We're going to make those very much at the core of what we're going to be giving our students in the future, because that's what the future job market has. It's a focus on creativity, teamwork, communication, critical thinking, empathy, which robots will never, ever replace. I mean, who would want to talk to an empathetic robot? We're going to make our courses as flexible as possible to allow the new learner to be able to study in a manner that's convenient to them. And finally, and most importantly, we'd like to invite you all graduating. This really is extremely important. We're talking very much to all our graduates about to be graduates. We want you to stay in touch. We want you not to see today as an ending, but as just a step in a journey in which you will always feel part of us, and we will always feel part of you. And we'll do that not just through conventional ways, but Twitter, Facebook, a whole range of social media. You are part of the business school family. You're part of the university family forever. Now, just to one final area that I do want to talk about at this beginning comments is a sense of kindness, because it is these values. You can be a graduate and have all the technical skills, but unless you have empathy and kindness at your heart, unless universities do, then they are shallow and they will never, and you will never, succeed and be happy in the world. And we take very seriously our motto, which is Alice Proprius Volans, which means, as you all know, fly by our own wings, fly by our own wings. And to be honest, there are too few good and moral leaders in the world today. Buckingham is producing increasing numbers of future leaders, high-flying leaders, and we want you to spread your wings far and wide as you leave this place, and remember to always live in the Buckingham way. The motto does, truthfully, there's some meaningless mottos. I won't give you any examples, but there are many meaningless mottos that we've all come across. Ours really does mean something, and it means that our values, our independence, lie at the heart of what we do, and this independence is symbolised by the mace that we see there, the gold mace that's brought in at the beginning of the ceremony and at the end. It is a symbol that we are an independent institution and that you are independent. You're going to go out in the world and you are going to have kindness at your heart in your homes that you build, in your workplaces, with colleagues, community, by volunteering. Today marks the accumulation, this ceremony, of many thousands of acts of kindness, many tens, hundreds of thousands of acts of kindness from you to each other and from staff to you and from you to each other and from you to staff. The level of kindness and compassion that exists in any group, family, university, country, community, is a hallmark of how civilized that community is. Many of you will have needed additional help and support, all of you, I'm sure, along the way. It's been given quietly with no fuss. The kindness runs deeply through our university culture. It's deep in the way that Buckingham works. It's driven by the desire to find community with like-minded people and from the sheer joy of supporting another human being. It works by helping to make each of us, each of you, tougher and more independent, better able to stand on your own feet. No matter where you come from, no matter what your circumstances, you can achieve extraordinary things. The higher that you aim for yourself, the more you can achieve. And at yesterday's Buckingham conference, there was somebody in a wheelchair who had meningitis from 15, and his message to all of you, to everybody at the conference yesterday and to everybody in education is don't think what you can't do, think what you can. And he climbed Kilimanjaro and he performed successfully at the Olympic Games in 2012. So we can achieve extraordinary things with the right values of kindness. Now, a university like ours is like a great machine to improve the world. It's about lifelong learning. After all, as we know, the shelf life of any degree is much shorter than it used to be back in Bologna in 1088. Now, it's about constant learning, constant openness to understand what it is that we can do. And we never stop learning. So we're always going to welcome you to come back, to support each other through your own networks, to bring ideas to us, as the alumni did so brilliantly yesterday at the opening. You are forever our family. We're going to need to tap into your experience and your knowledge. Increasingly, we're going to be looking to you, just like you have always looked to us. We're going to increasingly be looking to you to help and support in this fast-changing world. We're going to embrace you as members of our community forever. We should be proud of the themes of kindness that run like gold through our community, that students from the most deprived backgrounds should be welcomed here, and that the hurdles that might stand in their way can be crossed and overcome. Together we can achieve great things. I dream that we should be able to share this Buckingham experience that you've benefited from and enjoyed with students from every and any background. And I want to share with you the story in the form of a very brief video about invisible kindness. Invisible kindness. And we invite you to consider joining our campaign as a way of marking our future together. So, if you can see a screen.
From the first words, after the do better, work harder, struggle, judged, loneliness. Just a number and not a person, and a hand reaches out.
A door opens.
Into the warmth.
From the first moment.
Friendly. Finding strength.
My voice.
Safe to be yourself.
To stand up for yourself.
To care for others.
A way of life.
Always here.
Like a homecoming.
Part of the family.
And when you're under stress,
under duress,
depressed,
we will be here.
Time to reflect.
Dream.
Argue.
Learn.
Grow.
Love.
The unbelievable.
Unexpected.
Kindness of strangers.
To make dreams real.
Sing.
Breathe.
What it feels to give.
To receive.
My chance to say thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For the start.
For making it okay to be me.
To make a dream come true.
To return, to give, so that others can receive, can follow in my footsteps. Invisible kindness that makes our wonderful go around and round and round as you approach like a glow on the horizon.
Finally, yes, the Mayor would like us to applaud that. And thank you, Mr. Mayor, for 2 years of invisible kindness that you've given this town and this university. So finally, my congratulations, all of our congratulations to our graduates, and our thanks to your family, your friends, your teachers, your tutors who've supported you on your academic journey. Your success, your undeniable, glorious success, is our celebration all. We are deeply, deeply proud of you. Well done, all of you. And now, these opening comments over, we're back to the traditional part of the ceremony, the formal part, building up to the presentations. And I now say, I call upon the University Secretary.
Vice-Chancellor, Emeritus Professor John Clark, University Orator, will present Lord Smith for the degree of Doctor of Science of the University, Honoris Causa.
Vice-Chancellor, Aristotle tells us that man is by nature a political animal. Lord Trevor Smith, our honorand today, has always been interested in politics as an activity and as a subject of study. He began both simultaneously as a student at the London School of Economics in 1955, where he joined the Liberal Party when Clement Davis was its leader, and specialised in political science. He graduated from the LSE in 1958 and then taught in a secondary school while serving as chair of the Union of Liberal Students and as a member of the Liberal Party's National Executive. He contested the 1959 general election in West Lewisham, being the youngest candidate of any party that year. He became an academic, successively at Exeter, Hull, California State, and Queen Mary, London, culminating as Vice-Chancellor of the University of Ulster during the eventful 1990s. He also served as Chair and President of the Political Studies Association. Outside university life, he was a board member of the Roundtree Reform Trust Limited and President of the Belfast Civic Trust. He developed a strong interest in health policy, serving as a member of the North Yorkshire Health Authority, Vice Chair of the Tower Hamlets Health Authority, and Vice President of the Patients Association. He's also been on the boards of the New Statesman, New Society, and Gerald Duckworth. Knighted in 1996, he became a Liberal Democrat working peer in 1997, and for many years was the party's spokesperson on Northern Ireland in the House of Lords, and he served on a wide variety of important Lords committees. Lord Smith has always maintained a close interest in corporate affairs, and significantly, his first book was entitled Training Managers. From the perspective of the Independent University of Buckingham, it is interesting that this work identifies the vital role of independent colleges in management education. He notes that their courses are less limited in their syllabuses to academic spheres of interest, and they make a serious effort to meet the needs of industry. The contacts with industry are rather closer than is the case with the university courses. He notes, however, that teachers involved in the training of managers must be given time to pursue research and to keep up their expertise on management subjects. This is, of course, one of the central features of the study leave term, which is so important to the mission of this university. I think, Vice-Chancellor, that there are important links between our Honorand's political life and his views on corporate affairs. Both seem to me to have their origins in the philosophy of new liberalism that figures such as Graham Wallas, L.T. Hobhouse, and William Beveridge developed in the early years of the LSE. This is a very noble tradition, and one that was shared by some of our founders, such as John McCullum Scott. It combines a commitment to social progress, liberty, and economic efficiency. In the microcosm, this translates into the four principles identified in training managers: increased knowledge, attitude changes, improved skills, and improved intellectual skills. Whatever academic discipline we follow, these are objectives we should seek to achieve with all of our students. Vice-Chancellor, I call upon you to confer on Professor Trevor Smith, Baron Smith of Clifton, the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
By the authority of the university, I confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Science honoris causa.
Lord Smith will reply to convocation.
Vice-Chancellor, civic and academic dignitaries, ladies and gentlemen, and most important of all, my fellow graduates. In the mid-1970s, when both the Open University at Milton Keynes and University College Buckingham began admitting students, the question was asked, what sins have the citizens of Buckinghamshire done to deserve these two very strange institutions being visited upon them? The OU originated mass distance learning, while Buckingham pioneered, as the Vice-Chancellor was saying, intensive learning. A coincidence, perhaps, but these two unique innovations turned out to be major blessings. My first academic publication, as the public orator said, was Training Managers, which I did with Michael Argyll, an Oxford social psychologist. Appearing in 1962, it reported that most management training since the end of the Second World War consisted of very brief, mainly in-house courses undertaken by consultants. Overall, management training was very scant indeed. But the situation was about to change very dramatically. One of the proposals of the 1963 Robbins Report on UK higher education was the creation of two business schools. Sir Oliver Franks was asked to quickly elaborate on this, and the London and Manchester business schools were opened a year later. Since then, almost every university has created one, including here in Buckingham. If more are needed, I suggest the most appropriate sites for a business school would be Ford Open Prison in Sussex, where top convicted swindlers could lecture on how they went wrong. And the other would be in the Cayman Islands, where the exiled tax-avoiding billionaires could lecture on how they amassed their fortunes. I jest, but not entirely. The so-called management revolution was mooted, of course, in the 1930s, when we became aware of the separation of ownership and control of industry. Some pundits hoped it would usher in a more benign and accountable capitalism. This, alas, did not happen. And now the robber barons have returned with a vengeance. The consequence is that remuneration levels between top packages and average pay rates have soared, with few signs of abating. Wealth inequalities are obscene and constitute a very real threat to the stability of civil society. If it is to be saved, contemporary capitalism is in need of urgent reform, and that, my fellow graduates, is the task that befalls your generation. Two closely related requirements are needed. First, the interplay of free market forces must be unleashed to break up the cartels of monopoly capitalism, which I have to say Thatcherite privatisation positively encouraged. We must foster a smaller scale of operations. And secondly, we must nurture a new and vigorous code of corporate ethics. The curriculum of business schools should be accommodated, should accommodate these two aims. Otherwise, cartels will continue to enlarge while declining in number, inevitably leading to more catastrophic examples, such as the spectacular bankruptcy last year of the gigantic Carillion conglomerate. I thank the University of Buckingham for the signal honour it has bestowed on me with this honorary Doctor of Science. My fellow graduates, I wish all of you every success in your future careers, and I wish the business school here continuing success. Thank you.
Vice-Chancellor, I call upon John Sporry, Head of Professional and Executive Development, to present candidates for degrees of the University of Buckingham in Accounting and Management.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you graduates in Accounting and Management for the degree of Master of Science in Accounting and Finance, Rebecca Parminter. With distinction. Shitong Zhang. For the degree of Master of Science in Finance and Investment with distinction, Ergi Brahimaj. With distinction, Charlotte Pym. With distinction, Wendy Yembe. For the degree of Master of Science in Financial Service Management, Zana Mendigalina. For the degree of Bachelor of Science in Accounting with First Class Honours, Emma Xue Chen. With First Class Honours, India Letitia Edney. With First Class Honours, Omar Laher. With First Class Honours, Nam An Lei. Chandni Nagandi. William Harry Pitwood. With First Class Honours, Hamlet Pietri. Jonathan Praveen Ravichandran. Ibrahim Safdar. Shiwen Sun. Shiting Yang. Wei Jiang. For the degree of Doctor of Philosophy and Business, Arindam Chowdhury. Rajita Chowdhury. For the degree of Master of Business Administration, Nathan Berry. Mohammed Umayyad Daraiz. Goret Namyalo. Alexander Naipak. With distinction, Lucy Waugh. For the degree of Master of Science in Management in a Service Economy, Ibironki Afolabi. Babukar Fati. With distinction, Iman Legari. With distinction, Phil Draker Mayam. And for the degrees of Bachelors of Science in Business and Management and Marketing, David Agyemang. Ifzal Ahmed. Amar Bakit Ahmed Mukaddam Almari. Hassan Abdul Kadir Aminu. With first class honours, Vinayak Bangawa. Stephanie Kasalyud Ibarra. Harshil Chavatia. Isabella Felix Oconti. Kaiser Gabii. Mohammed Ghana. With first class honours, Ella Jane Gray. Queen Ola Jumaki Great. Takahiro Hoshijima. With first class honours, Julian Huntington. Alistair Johnson. With first class honours, Kaylee Ben Khalif. Nyambura Kimano. Li Ting Li. Shan Yu. Gia Luo. Paul Mahon. With first class honours, Elliot Mariner. Alberto Mencos Rovira. With first class honours, Charlie Nolan. Jack Nyhan. Stephanie Okeke. Toa Oye. Emmanuel Sambatakos. Matthew Says. Jessica Smith. Balraj Singh Rai. Wei Dan Wong. Jin Yan Wen. With first class honours, Hannah White. Yulang Jai. And that concludes my presentation.
Vice-Chancellor, I call upon John Darlington, Head of Lean Enterprise, to present candidates for degrees of the University of Buckingham in Lean Enterprise and Operational Excellence.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates in Lean Management for the degree of Master of Science in Lean Enterprise, Craig Brainey. Michael Brett. Curtis Gaffney. Johannes Hyman. Daniel Kendrick. Grania O'Leary. Nick Smith. Patrick Van Dyke. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the graduates.
Vice-Chancellor, I call upon Professor Nigel Adams, Head of Enterprise and Entrepreneurship, to present candidates for degrees at the University of Buckingham in Business Enterprise.
Vice-Chancellor, I present to you the graduates in Entrepreneurship for a degree in Master of Science in Entrepreneurial Consultancy and Practice, with distinction, Matthew Gadsby. Andrew Gibson. Senay Mohammed Saleh. And Nadia Sylvester. And now, Vice-Chancellor, for the degree of Bachelor of Science in Business Enterprise, Jordan Amadi Myers. Matt Bell. Yunrong Chen. Lin Jia Gan. Sebastian Alfredo Cerudo Gosner. With first-class honours, Connor Brian Shotton Oza. Yu Shu. And finally, Vice-Chancellor, with first-class honours, Jack Tyers. Vice-Chancellor, that concludes the presentation.
Vice-Chancellor, I call upon you to confer degrees upon candidates whose names have been published in the programme but who are unable to be present here this morning.
By the authority of this university, I admit candidates in absentia to the degrees and diplomas for which they are qualified.
Vice-Chancellor, the Edgar Palamountain Award for Excellence is awarded annually to a student who has come first in the final examinations within that student's discipline and has, in the opinion of the Vice-Chancellor, shown the greatest degree of all-round excellence. The award will be presented by Mr. Horatio Palamountain, grandson of Edgar Palamountain. The recipient for 2019 is from the School of Business, Ms. Endia Edney. The Vice-Chancellor will now close convocation.
I'd like just to conclude this ceremony. I counted the average number of steps, and can I say, in the presence of family and friends of yours and all your tutors and teachers who care deeply about you, that it was an absolute delight. It simply is the nicest thing that I do as Vice-Chancellor, to come and look in your eyes and to see that delight. And that is the moment that you change your status from a graduand to a graduate, and a graduate to a postgraduate, and to a doctorate. Something very, very special, magical happens. And we're very proud of you. We want you to always be close to us, to see this, as I said earlier, and I want to repeat it, to see today sacred was the word I used, and life-changing experience, an experience that you'll remember all your lives. I want you to see this not just as that extraordinarily important day, but also not as an ending, but as a beginning to you and your new status, that you will always feel part of this university. This university will always be part of you, and that goes also for your family and for your friends who are here to support you, who've supported you along the way, who are overjoyed to be here with you today at this remarkable ceremony, and who will be there to support you for the rest of your lives also. Before we conclude, I would like to thank all my colleagues who have helped you today. It is a great honour for me and a privilege to work with such talented and dedicated students, staff, and this is without even saying, but I will remind you that this university is currently number 1 in Britain, according to the government tables, for the quality of its teaching. That you have been part of this extraordinary event, extraordinary day, and we are and we will always be deeply proud of you. Thank you for everything that you've given your university in the past, and thank you for everything that you will give us and steer us and guide us as we go forward in the future. And now I say, and again these are time-honoured words, which are the formal words that conclude this graduation ceremony. The words are, and when I say them, you then all stand. The words are simply, this convocation is now concluded.